the traction sheave, you change the compensation sheave, and you change a couple of hitches, and you can use this machine technology. It's not that big a job.
And the big benefit is energy savings. Is there more to it than that?
It's energy savings. It's being less sensitive to building sway, yeah, practically inert to building sway. You don't need to shorten the ropes anymore. This rope doesn't densify like normal steel ropes do, so you don't need to shorten them after a couple of years. You don't need to, replacing it is also much easier. It doesn't weigh very much. Changing steel ropes is it's a very elaborate job. Takes a lot of days, and the elevators are out, reducing your usage of elevators. This is just, so much easier in the end.
So 9 years in development, was there a point where there was really a breakthrough, where this kind of got critical mass, where there were some hurdles that all of a sudden were solved?
Getting the shape, getting the function of UltraRope was actually a small job. It was about 1 year, 1.5 years. We knew immediately how to build it. The big job was to test it, making sure that it performed, that it was safe, and that it did what it was supposed to do for super high-rise buildings. We tested it rigorously. We tested it at high speed in our test shaft, the Tutri mine shaft in Finland, 1,000 feet deep. We could run it at 15 meters per second, 3,000 feet a minute, yes, to check that it would really work at such super speeds. It does it. It works fine. We did friction tests. We did, aging tests, because this material ages. Yeah, so we had to see how it performs with aged materials. Still, under aging, it did exactly the same. It was very, very good in its performance. We did fire tests. We must make sure that it can withstand at least the same kind of situations as steel ropes.
As good as or better?
This is actually better. This performs better than steel ropes in fire conditions. We had to check that we had the energy consumption reductions which we estimated, and we checked all that. We had to check how sensitive it was for foreign particles to enter the system. We're in a very rough conditions, construction industry, where you can have stones, whatever, falling between tools, going between the rope and the elevator system. So we just had to make sure that it could withstand all that.
Is there different maintenance? Is the maintenance easier with this technology?
The maintenance is of course slightly easier. You need to monitor it, yes? So we have a system with which we can monitor it all the time, in real time, which will tell us whether it is getting worse or not. We expect this to last easily 20 years, yeah? So in our tests we have done incredible amounts of bendings without this thing ever even fatiguing.
What's the life expectancy of the current steel cable?
When you go super high like the shears towers, you're typically starting to talk about the lifetime of the ropes getting shorter and shorter, because you actually need to use steel to carry steel, so you're reducing your safety factor to as low as you can, and that also has an immediate effect on life. So in the high-rise buildings as we see them nowadays, one can typically expect that a 400 or 500 meter travel, you have about 4 or 5 years of life. If you want more life, then this is the way. This has about 15-20 years of life easily.
So Johannes, I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball, or your carbon fiber ball. Mid-century, 40 years from now, what are tall buildings going to look like, and how will people move around in them because of this?
This will change it. There will be more changes, I'm pretty sure about that. It's everyone's goal and everyone's desire to actually be independent of ropes in the future. Yeah? This will enable to go further up to that stage. But still, the last goal is get rid of the ropes altogether. Have multiple elevators running in the same shaft. That is the future.
And this is the stuff that will do it?
This is the start.
Okay, yeah. And what's the next step from here, do you think?
The next step from here is ropeless elevators. Multiple elevators moving independent, all in the same shaft without ropes.
So the way that we're thinking about elevators is due for a radical shift starting now.
when you talk about 40 years, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming to see us in Chicago.
Thank you.